ठीक है, काल मफलर भी डाल देता। हाँ करो। चार्ली भाई की तो आवाज भी आ रही
है। जा रहा है जाना शुरू
उसकी आवाज नहीं आई अभी।
म्यूजिक बज रही है।
वो दिन कितने प्यारे थे, ये दिन भी कितने प्यारे हैं। वो दिन बाबा अब भी साथ हमारे हैं, वो दिन कितने प्यारे थे, ये दिन भी कितने प्यारे हैं, वो दिन कितने प्यारे थे।
Om Shanti, and a very, very loving welcome to the Double Foreigner program for the 18th of January. And the Double Foreigner team has worked so hard with so much love to give us the feelings we're all in our sweet home at the moment. And so a welcome, welcome, welcome to everybody. And I would especially like to welcome our beloved elder brother, Brij Mohan Bhai. Brij Mohan Bhai, I'm going to give you a Zoom hug, a Zoom hug. Have you had a Zoom hug before?
I am receiving it. No, they have been presenting me only bouquet, never a hug. Thank you.
So, Brij Mohan Bhai is our very much loved elder brother, and I would say a living treasure of our yagya. And in my experience, he has such a divine intellect, an intellect so full of wonderful stories and experiences. He has such a divine heart, a heart that's always full of love for Baba and all of us. And he has such a divine stage because nearly 70 years with Baba, dedicated every single moment. So he's such a special treasure in this family, and we feel so honored, all the Double Foreign family, to have you with us, Brij Mohan Bhai. And what the program is going to be, I'm going to ask him some questions for 20 minutes just to start off. And then you can ask him some questions. And the system, please listen, because the system will be you can click on the participants box and you'll find a participant there called question box. So if you click that on, that question will come to me and I'm happy to ask Brij Mohan Bhai on your behalf. So we will have 20 minutes of questions and then we will finish with him giving us drishti for 15 minutes. So, Brij Mohan Bhai, we would love you to start and just share with us your first meeting with Brahma Baba and what was the impression? How did you feel during that first meeting? What was your experience?
Om Shanti to all sisters and brothers. It is so fortunate for me to meet you through this modern system. I first met Brahma Baba with our Laukik family, which consisted of father, mother, myself and younger brother, 2 years younger to me. So first we met through Drishti. In those days, the system was that the visitors first time to Madhuban were given time appointment and then Baba and Mama sat on their sandali and then we sat in front and it started with silent Drishti. So when I was taking Drishti, I was alternating between Baba and Mama because I was feeling attracted by both. So I did not know from whom to take drishti. So I looked at Baba, then I looked at Mama so frequently that Mama smiled from the stage. And thereafter, in those days, children were few, so the system was to go in Baba's lap, then Mama's lap. When I went into their lap, I felt bodiless. And with Mama, I took two turns. You know, when your time was over, Mama patted you on the backs softly so that you may now get up. So Mama patted and I again went into the lab. So I took twice Mama's love. Thereafter, in the adjoining room, the visiting group was taken and Baba spoke to them. And that was a wonderful thing that my father was very fond of doing godly service only. So he requested to Baba that he wants to become full-time Brahma Kumar by surrendering. Then Baba told him that you have a family, so you have to be like a trustee. Then my mother's turn came, so Baba told her that to become completely free from attachment, your husband, that is my father, will open a center for you in a nearby pilgrim center of Delhi, which was Mathura. And my father opened a center for her, and she remained there till her last breath. To me, Baba asked me what was I doing, so I told that I am studying chartered accountancy under training. So Baba said, you complete your study. To my younger brother, he was studying in 12th standard. Baba said, you leave your study and do full-time godly service. To all the four of us, Baba gave different advice at first step. And also Baba told me, you are a very pure soul. This is how it started. And in the background, now we see my brother left body 3 years after that. So Baba knew that this soul has to live only for 3 years in Sangam Yuga, so asked him to surrender completely.
Thank you so much, Bridgemohan Bhai.
And one
Now,
thing
Shiv,
more, sorry, Baba said, you are a very pure soul. So in my heart, a storm started blowing that I was a college boy, young boy, doing all the mischief that the college boys do. And Baba is telling me, you are a very pure soul. So I became uneasy. So now I knew Baba's routine, so where Baba will pass from and like that. So there was an ironing room with big irons. So I stood there. I knew Baba will pass this way. And when Baba came, I went to Baba and told Baba, I am not very pure because I am a college student. Then Baba said, okay, child, now hereafter you become very pure, like that.
thank you, Bridgemohan Bhai. Now, Bridgemohan Bhai, our topic is really, becoming egoless. And I wonder, Shiv Baba is eternally egoless. And what was your experience or your understanding? Did you feel Brahma Baba had to make effort, or do you think it almost instantly emerged in him when he realized who he was and who Shiv Baba was? Did this egoless state really emerge almost straight away when he became Shiv Baba's instrument? Or was it he had to make a lot of effort over time?
You know, there are two things. One is a soul's own effort, and other is the extra lift or gift that Baba gives to a soul because of the role that soul is assigned. So personally, I feel that Baba became instantly egoless because first of all, Baba was a powerful soul. Secondly, as soon as Baba became Brahma Baba's chariot. Now, Shiv Baba's chariot, now Brahma Baba realized that everything is, my role is such that everything is for others. Because the role was such. Brahma was to create and give birth to divine birth to children and start the yajna. So I feel that the most of the part was because of the role assigned to Brahma Baba. You know, Brahma Baba is shown at the roots, like we Brahmins are also shown at the roots of the tree. And roots keep nothing to themselves. The roots pass on everything, whatever they get from the seed, up to the trunk and the branches of the tree. So when a soul gets such a role that you have to give and give only, I think that makes becoming egoless natural and easy.
Thank you. That's really wonderful. Brij Mohan Bhai, after all your experience in the yagya with Shiv Baba and Brahma Baba, how do you understand being egoless, and what does it look like in a very practical, real, day-to-day way? How will such a person behave and interact with others?
You know, this ego is such a vice, very subtle, that one feels that everything in the world is for me. And an egoless person feels that I am for others. So that is the difference. And the one who has ego, he will like to get and get everything. And the one who is on the path of egolessness will give and give. Now, because it is my own experience, because giving is in conformity with the universal law, you will find everything exists for others. Nothing exists for itself. That is the basic universal principle. For example, sun gives light and heat to others, not to itself. The rivers give water to others. Water is not meant for itself. So this method, Brahma Baba also instantly became a giver, and all the Brahmins also. So I feel because giving is in conformity with the system, you will find not even a chair exists for itself. Fan does not exist for itself. Everything serves and in the process gets served. So that way, if a person understands that giving is getting, not that getting is not even getting, so then it becomes easy to go on the path of egolessness. And in the case of Brahmin family, you know, we are always taught not to have, but to give. Baba says, you fly and let others fly. You be happy and make others happy. So the second part of it is very important to become egoless.
Thank you, Brij Mohan Bhai. That's an incredibly beautiful answer. Can you share some stories of your many years with Sakha Baba, Brahma Baba, that really revealed how humble he was, how egoless he was, how simple he was? Some real life interactions with Brahma Baba that just revealed what you just described. Some stories.
You know, I can tell you one story about uh, possessions. Now, my Lokik father left body, and in India, there is a system that when a person leaves body, his personal possessions and belongings are given in charity to Brahmins. There is a cult called Brahmins. So, my father left body and I was working in office. He was also working in some office. So his all dresses fitted me very well, official dresses. So he had 30 such dresses. So I thought instead of giving to the Lokik Brahmins, I am also a Brahmin, I keep those dresses. So one time when I was in Madhuban and was taking leave from Baba, I was wearing my father's Lokik dress. And in those days, there was no system of ready-made dresses in India, but some families in Hong Kong, the Sindhi families, they used to come and give some ready-made dresses to Baba for distribution. So Baba used to keep those dresses for those working in office. So Baba told me, child, this dress has come from Hong Kong, this is for you. And just like childishness, I wanted to tell Baba that I have kept my father's dresses. So I told Baba, look, Baba, I repeated that I have kept 30 dresses and look how this dress is fitting me well. So at that point of time, Baba told me, child, if you will wear your Lokik father's dress, you will remember your Lokik father. If you wear Baba's dress, you will remember Baba. And then I realized that yes, every time as I was wearing, I remembered my Lokik father, and all through on my body, my Lokik father's dress was there. So my thoughts, yoga was not complete. So next time I brought all the 30 dresses and surrendered it in Madhuban. I thought that I get rid of that. Another time when I came, who wears office dresses in Madhuban? So one brother washing clothes was wearing my father's bushat. So I said, oh, look, my father's bushat. Then I realized that even after surrendering, the ghost of this, my father's bushat, is still with me. So Baba made us realize in this way the difference between Lokik, spiritual, and Baba. So how we learned that we have to remember Baba through various ways. So I know that even when Baba took shower, so Baba used to tell us that I tell myself that there is a deity inside whom I am cleaning, and this body is the temple, and like that. Whole of Baba daily routine, Baba had made such as to link it with Baba, Shiv Baba's remembrance. So it became natural.
Thank you, Bridgemohan Bhai. Now, in the beginning of the yajna, and I think even at the beginning of service in Delhi, there was quite a lot of upheaval and a lot of, insult and defamation of Brahma Baba. So how did he manage that? And did you ever observe his egoless state, his humility changing people's attitudes, people who had a very critical attitude or negative attitude, just by Baba's, humility, he was able to transform them?
Baba had a special power of foresight and turning negative into positive. In those days, Baba used to say that if you say good things about Brahma Baba and Brahma Kumaris, it will not reach the public. But if something negative is said, it will become very popular. So Baba used to take it that way at that point of time, that if there is such defamation or insult, people become curious. They start feeling in their mind something to know about him. So that Baba took it like that and said that this is a Shiv Baba's method of making Brahma Baba and the institution popular among the people. So this way, Baba took it, all the type of opposition and insult. And Baba said, one day, those who are insulting will also praise you. But this method is such that nobody knows Baba, nobody knows the knowledge. So by this negative misunderstanding, the institution and Baba become popular. People started and going to the Brahma Kumaris, asking, who is your Baba? What does he do? Why people are saying like that? So that helped also in getting Baba's real introduction.
So there's benefit in everything. Bridgemohan, if some of the children were sort of overtly a bit arrogant or a little bit showy about how did Brahma Baba deal with them? How did he help them sort of understand perhaps they're under the influence of their ego? How would he do it? Did he speak to them directly, or did he do it very subtly or gently, or it depended on the person in front of him? How did Baba manage children who had a bit of ego?
You know, throughout, there was, Baba what said was that you can extinguish fire with water only. So Baba
Yeah.
said that you become egoless, and the more you become egoless, the other person will automatically shed their ego. This was, I think, the method Baba used to follow, that you change your state to as much to egolessness, then automatically the vibration and all your speech and other actions will influence that person, and he will see the difference that I am having ego and I am feeling restless and peaceless and disturbed, and this person is not having ego and he is feeling so peaceful. So why I should have ego? So by such personal example, Baba used to teach us.
Bridgemohan, in your experience, how do we really break the consciousness of I? What has helped you, if ever it's emerged? How do we really break deeply this ego forever?
You see, in Gyan, we are given certain understandings. And as a person proceeds on the path of Gyan, he experiments with those basic things. And as and when a person learns that this is the shortcoming and this is the result of that, slowly people shed. Some shed it quickly, some shed it with difficulty, because ego is also of two types. One is the basic body consciousness. And now the basic body consciousness we are given, our first lesson is you are soul. So when one understands that body and everything connected with body is temporary, perishable, mortal, and the soul is eternal, so basically one learns that whatever I acquire in the soul will be permanently with me now and hereafter also, and rest of it will be temporary. So this is a basic thing. But then what happens? One gets certain special qualities, learns, gets virtues and all those things, which give that person name and fame, certain type of appreciation by others and all that. Now that is a subtle type of thing which gets into the soul, and person start feeling special and a little having a superiority complex. So now that gives you temporary fame and name and all those things. But ultimately, what happens that when certain things you are getting are denied to you, you feel hurt. And then you start thinking, why, when I was, everyone is given special treatment sometimes, but cannot be given special treatment all the time. So when what gets special treatment and feels very happy and elated, and then when what does not get that and feels hurt. So ego hurts. Basic thing is, when in the process of Gyan, whenever a person feels hurt, it is ego. Not only that, the conduct of a person with ego hurts others also, inadvertently. So that is the test. So I also felt that, to avoid that hurt, if I become egoless, I will never have any type of feeling of insult, this, that, appreciation, praise. So this is a process by which one can test. Secondly, ego is a big limitation. When we are given knowledge of the universal brotherhood, universal family, and our inheritance, for generations and of the whole world, and like that, ego is a big limitation because it is connected with the body. So a person with body will be possessive, and you cannot be possessive of the whole world unless you raise your level of consciousness to that height. So what happens? One becomes possessive, and everybody has a level of satisfaction. If a person has very little material things and gets certain material things, feels very happy and gets settled at that. So that is the limitation of ego. And egolessness makes you unlimited and universal and global. And likewise, the joy and happiness and you get in life is universal if you are egoless. The person with ego will be possessive, but how much you can possess. So therefore, he will have a limited, whatever he will get will be very limited. And he will feel that others are feeling much more treasures in themselves. The reason being, a egoless person can collect that treasures. I will give you an example. The ocean is low, and therefore all the rivers flow into the ocean. If ocean were high, but I mean to say that a person with ego does not receive actually. He gives, and he has a false feeling that I am receiving. A person without ego receives because he is low. So this is the thing. Uh, Otherwise, also when you give, your hand is above, and when you get, your hand is below, like that.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, Brijmanbhai. Now we have some questions coming in. And once again, just a reminder for all of those who would like to write a question, go to the participants box. You can write in question box there and just write your question and send it. And the questions are coming to me. And also just a reminder, there is Hindi and Tamil translation. And I think we were given instructions at the beginning. Now, Brijmanbhai, a question, one of the questions that's come in, the subtle trap of ego is that the soul takes sorrow easily. How to go beyond the memory of sorrow taken? How to let go the memory of the sorrow you've absorbed?
Yes, this is a very good question because one thing is sorrow, and another thing, memory of sorrow, which can linger for some time or more time. Therefore, one should, whenever sorrow comes, we should see that it is not something which is desirable, which is my own nature. So as soon as sorrow comes, one should stop and see that the soonest I put a full stop to it, the better it is for me. So this has to be practiced.
Thank you. Another question, it's a little bit longer, this one. In our daily routine, we all have preferences for little things, like having tea at a particular time of day, or reading Muli by sitting at a particular place that we like. How would you relate such small preferences and doing things in ways we like to being egoless? Even if we are not dependent on them, are they still subtle chains of ego that I'm bound by being happy when I do things in certain ways, certain locations, certain times?
Actually, this is connected with molding power. You know, when one is staying at a place, everything is set, his bed is set, he knows I am sleeping on this bed. If you go to a new place and suddenly you wake up at night and you find the direction of the bed different, for a moment you feel, oh, where I am. And then you settle down and say, yes, I am at a new place. So like that, one gets used to naturally used to certain things. Now, in fact, This is addiction to our possessions. So therefore, to be easy at all places, one has to be soul conscious. You know, the best way to get rid of all ego is to be soul conscious. Because if you are in a crowd, sometimes you feel very uneasy. Oh, so many people crammed into this place. But as soon as you become soul conscious, you don't look at the bodies. You feel I am a tiny soul. How much space I take, I am easy. Like that, most of the things, even taking tea, whatever it is. In fact, in the golden age, in where we are going, everything happens at the right place, at the right time, and in the right manner. And in the disturbed stage now, which is full of ego, jealousy, etc., anything can happen to anyone, anytime, anywhere. This is the disturbed state. So there is nothing wrong with things being our routine being regular. Supposing I take tea at 8 o'clock, I take and every day at 8 o'clock, it's okay. But then, supposing I don't get it at 8 o'clock and I start feeling disturbed. So any body type of body consciousness will have angularities, and those angularities have to be rounded off. So the best thing is, we know the definition of a point. A point has no length, breadth, height, or anything. That's a point. You see a point from any side, it will look like a point. So that is why when we are sitting, say, in an assembly of 8 people, I say, this is my point of view, this is his point of view, everybody has his point of view. But if you put a point in the middle and ask everyone to look or photograph a point, it will look a point. So the best thing to have the molding power, and we are a sentient soul, point. So to remain soul conscious. Then what will happen? For example, heat, hot and cold. In very cold season in India, people say, oh, I am shivering. When they go for a bath, they don't have any dress, any clothes. What happens in that point of time, one is taking shower for 5 minutes, one is without clothes at all. But as soon as one comes out, one feels, oh, I need this, I need sweater, I need shawl. Therefore, it is all body consciousness. And if you put to extreme situation something, you will find a different result. Say, for instance, one is feeling lazy in the morning and feeling like doing Amrit Vela but feeling very lazy. And if you tell that person there is a cobra below your bed, he will jump. So the situation will change the person's attitude. So like that, we have to, when we know that there are certain types of minor addictions, we have to work for those. And that is what Baba says, become bodiless and change your attitude. That will help.
Thank you, Brijmanbhai. Wonderful. We've got a lot of questions coming in, so I'm going to try to ask you as many as we can have time for. The next one, because I do not want my ego to be triggered, I avoid certain people or situations. Is this okay?
No. This
Short
is like
answer.
getting away from the boxing ring and becoming a spectator. No. One has to overcome ego in real situations.
Thank you. What's the difference? This is an interesting question. What's the difference of ego and having pride of being a Paka BK? How is it related to self-respect?
A Pakka BK is a Pakka BK. He is not proud of being a Pakka BK. Let others be proud of him.
Thank you. We're going through the questions nice and quickly at the moment. Another one, is ego the seed of laziness and carelessness?
Repeat it. Is ego?
The seed of laziness and carelessness.
No. The ego is not a seed of laziness and carelessness, but it makes you tired. That is all. The seed of laziness and carelessness is what you call defeat, not being victorious. If one gets defeated in whatever small things, does not become victorious, then slowly one loses interest and become lazy like that. Say you are doing a race, and in a race a person's shoestring is disturbed and he becomes a little slow. Then he tries to catch up, and 3 4 times, if that person is not able to catch up, he becomes lazy.
Thank
All
you.
type of victory will make keep you alert. Say if a businessman is earning money, getting customers, he will be not even sleep. But if he is having no customers, he will become lazy. So like that. Ego is not the cause of laziness. Ego makes you tired because it is empty. So one, if something is solid, it's okay. If you want to keep an empty thing as a solid thing, and then in the process you get tired.
Wonderful. Thank you, Vijmanbhai. Wonderful answers. Now, the next one is it okay to say no when you don't have time to do a certain job? Or does it seem to be a bit egoistic?
No, it is better to say no, but in proper explaining the situation, that is not ego. Because when Baba says, say yes to everything, this question arises of that. Baba says, always says, Hanji, yes. So it means I should cooperate, I should be in conformity, I should be friendly, I should be harmonious. But it doesn't mean that you don't say no. In certain places, to say no is to say yes, because you are expressing the real situation.
Excellent. Now, the next one is interesting too. I am unable to absorb the murli at the time of listening because the one who is reading irritates whilst reading. Is it my ego which prevents me from absorbing, or what do I need to do to be calm and peaceful?
Actually, it is a little bit of hatred and dislike of the medium who is reading the Murli. And it happens many times, the style of reading Murli or rendering or speaking in such a way that it points towards certain people and certain incidences. But we have not to look at the postman, we have to look at the letter that we are getting. So one doesn't look at the postman, that postman should be well dressed and all that. That person is only a medium. And if I appreciate the value of the Murli, then I will not have this problem.
Thank you. So we have time for a few more, and then we're going to enjoy some drishti. The next one is, in my experience, being egoless needs to imbibe the specific virtues like patience, tolerance, understanding, giving, wisdom, etc. Do you think without all these virtues, being egoless is possible? And can you give some practical advice to enable the souls to imbibe these virtues?
It is the other way around. It is egolessness that will bring these virtues.
That's it? Okay,
We
that was
don't
a very...
we don't have to depend on so many virtues to become egoless. As we become egoless, we will naturally attract these virtues.
Thank you again, Brijmanbhai. Brijmanbhai, when another question, when an instrument really is egoless, what is the effect on the divine family when like the instrument leader, the one in front, is really egoless? What is the effect on the center, the family, service? What's your experience, observations?
Actually, egoless instrument is doing real service. An instrument with percentage of ego or some form of ego is doing service but not complete service, because that particular trait also does some disservice. People want to see an instrument as a perfect example. So one has to be very careful, because Baba says, whatever actions you do, others will follow. And if they see virtues in you and perfection in you, they will get attracted by that. And if they see so many qualities but one defect, that defect will eat away the effect of so many qualities in doing service.
Hmm. So, would you say that one way of describing egolessness is that your vision will see virtue, your vision will see the good in the other?
Baba has given a simple, method. To what extent we follow, it is depends on us. And that is, Baba says, first of all, keep your mind clean. If we keep our mind clean and our intellect clear, then there is no ego is something like a virus. It will not enter. Because if we have in our mind something like that, this comparison, doing comparison with others, and then making questions like why this is that, why that is that. So Baba has given world word, be a well-wisher of all. If we practice that, I am a well-wisher, I am a well-wisher, then there will be no scope for ego to enter.
Thank you.
Have a universal look. We should not be distinguishing.
So, Bridgman, by our last question, and then we're going to enjoy some drishti from you. This one is interesting too. I'm always told to do all the dirty jobs and the odd jobs at the center. It pulls my self-respect down. Is this my ego?
Right. We have to remember for whom I am doing this job. A job is no matter. A mother washes all the bad things of the child. Child may vomit, child may urinate, child may do latrine, etc. She never feels this is the job of a sweeper or another person, because she has so much love for the child. Now, in India, many people, go to temples and press the tiles of the temples, marble tiles, thinking that they are pressing the feet of God. That is a faith, blind faith. But what I mean to say, we have to see for whom I am doing this job. I am not doing a job for anyone, and I am doing for God. Secondly, nobody will like to do that small job. And if I am doing, I am special, because I understood the value of doing this small job, because it is helping in God's work. Then this feeling will go.
As I was asking you the last question, still more are coming. Can I ask you one more?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Because drishti can be taken later on, but this question answer, will be interesting.
Yes, they're very good. Now, someone's writing, the instrument soul corrects defects in me, which they themselves may have. I keep listening to it, or should I keep listening to it? Or shall I point the instrument that they too have the same defect?
Better to be listening.
Pardon? Better to be listening?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, another one.
Because you cannot throw a stone in reply to a stone. Basic thing is why I am listening and absorbing. One person asked Dadi Janki the same thing, that Dadi, I don't have good vibration and good feelings for this person at all. And you tell me to look at him without any bad feeling. Dadi said, you are doing this because you have to become a DT. So we are doing all these tolerance and all that, understanding we have not to see the defect of the instrument, because it is because the instrument has some defect that is telling you to remove that defect. Normally, it's a psychology. A person who has a weakness will always talk about to others about removing that weakness. It is psychology. So therefore, we have to listen and forget about that teacher, thinking that if I have that defect, let me remove it. Teacher is only an instrument. I have not to see whether that teacher is removing or not removing, because an instrument is pointing out to something to me, and if I have that defect, I should remove it because I have to become a DT. Whosoever tells me. Even
That's
a dirty
brilliant.
man can tell a person that your shirt is dirty. I won't say your shirt is also dirty. Why you are pointing out to me?
Okay, another one, another interesting question. There's been some excellent questions. How is it that ego seems to increase in some souls as they get older in BK life and have a position, etc.? Sometimes it seems new BKs are more flexible.
Well, Baba says, look only at the good points of others. Don't look at their weak points, because they may have lot of good points also, and good points, weak points deducted from good points will still give them some balance. And if I start looking only at the bad points of others, where will I stand?
Yes. Now, I think we'll make this the final question. What type of ego is it that when all the time I am making fun of myself in front of others?
Well, lack of self-respect. I should, Baba says, first of all, you set yourself in the seat of self-respect. See the position Baba has given you. See at how Baba looks at your perfect stage. Because to make to making fun of others or making fun of oneself also is not desirable at the present time of, when we are trying to attain angelic stage.
Okay, Bridgemohan Bhai, and thank you everyone for your lovely questions. And Bridgemohan Bhai, thank you so much. I think that was a really rich session, a very deep session. So wonderful answers to all those questions. Thank you. And I think, as we can see, there's about 230 just in the English translation, and so many on Hindi and Tamil, and many are in classrooms as well. So there's a huge number of the Divine Family all over the world listening. So I think on behalf of everyone, we'd really like to thank you from the heart for your wonderful time today. It looks a little bit cold in Delhi. You look like you're all rugged up at the moment.
Yes, I am in Madhuban.
Of course, you're in
I have
Madhuban.
now shifted to Madhuban, and most of the time I will be staying here. And I am talking from Madhuban. Secondly, I think all of you have read today's Murli. Yes?
Yes.
In today's Murli, there is a point about ego. And Baba says, if a soul develops ego, it will create differences. And Baba has said about farming committees, etc., and all those things, brothers making committees and like that. So ego causes differences of opinion, and it causes deviation from Shrimat. That is very important, and a person with ego will see everything, even Shrimat, from his own point of view. And if you are if your own point of view and Shrimat tallies, then a person will say, yes, this is Shrimat. And if own point of view and own thinking and Shrimat does not tally, then one will start doubting even Shrimat. For example, Baba says, children, you need not sit at one place for yoga. Enjoy yourself, do travel, do everything and have yoga. So because it is telling with my own thinking, I will say very good, very good. And if Baba says, no, you have to concentrate and all that, then I will say, I will try. So therefore, in today's Murli, there is a very important point that if you have ego, you will not be able to follow Shrimat.
It's a wonderful finish. Thank you so much, Bridgemohan Bhai. We've loved having you.
Okay.
And so we're going to finish now with sort of 7 or 8 minutes of powerful drishti in an egoless stage. So thanks from the heart once again. And thank you to everyone who's come on. It's been really wonderful to have the whole family together meeting Bridgemohan Bhai. So let's sit in a powerful stage of meditation for the last 7, 8 minutes.
कितने निरहंकारी, बच्चों को नमस्ते करते हैं। बाबा कितने निरहंकारी, बच्चों को नमस्ते करते हैं। सारा जग जिनको याद करे, सारा जग जिनको याद करे, वे याद प्यार हमें देते हैं।
बच्चों को नमस्ते करते हैं, बाबा कितने निरहंकारी।
Okay, Om Shanti.